Good afternoon, all the students and the faculties, and a very warm welcome to our today's second session. This is quarter four, and the session is on prototype designing process and tools for development of minimum viable. As we all know that IIC 5.0 activity calendar is from our side, we're almost covered more than 10 number of events till now. And so today, we are very much thankful to IIC MHRD because they have already provided some resources, online resources, and which we found it's a very the very effective one materials, which is must be played in front of faculties and students as well, as it is having a positive impact. It will be having a positive impact as this talk is basically by Dr. Pankaj Parashar, the founder, Cutting Edge Medical Devices Private Limited, and is also AICTE's Innovation Ambassador as well. So now, and we are very much thankful to our convener of IIC GIST unit, Mr. Gauri Pal, and President Sheikh Mohidul Islam as well, and myself, Ishan Samanto, Vice President in Innovation Activities. We are hereby gathering together. We today on 8th of September 2023. Basically, today's session is basically giving a broad idea about existing startup ecosystem from experts and with Mr. Dr. Pankaj Parashar, sorry. And the idea is all about the trends and opportunities for any innovative idea to convert it into a successful startup. Because ideas are over there in everybody's mind, as it is very nowadays the competition is higher and the era of in is very much competitive mode is in very much as the unicorn has grown up as in a large number since as compared to last few years. So on that respect, in that respect, now we are also very much honored to AICTs as well as they have decided to include these startup-oriented discussions in our academics. And this IIC is really giving us an opportunities to organize these kind of events for the students and faculties as well to ensure more and more about the culture, more and about to nurture more and more about entrepreneurship era and to discuss more about the startup process as well. So I would like to now request our convener, Mr. Gauri Pal sir, to kindly play the video that has been published by the MHRD itself and which is by Dr. Pankaj Parashar. He is the founder of Cutting Edge Medical Devices Private Limited and the Innovation Ambassador of AICTE as well. Thank you, sir. It is over to you. Please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Innovation Ambassador training session. Also, I welcome Mr. Deepan Sahu, Assistant Innovation Director, Ministry of Education Innovation, for joining the session. We have an expert speaker, Dr. Pankaj Parashar, who will be speaking on attaining market product fit, prototype designing process, and tools for development of minimum viable product. Dr. Pankaj Parashar carries an experience at healthcare industry for more than 17 years. He's a qualified physician with an MBS degree, and for his passion for medical technology, he is also his PhD in from IIT Delhi. He has been associated with various government organizations and departments working on healthcare policy and services. So he worked with National Health System Resources Center, NHSRC, and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare as an associate consultant and is instrumental in the laying down of more than 5 health policies that the government of India has implemented. He also worked with the government of Madhya Pradesh as equipment procurement specialist for the Department of Health. Apart from this, he is also a serial innovator and a passionate entrepreneur. So I would like to invite Mr. Dr. Pankaj Parashar to start the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, AICTE, for having me here. Thank you very much, Deepan sir, for giving me this opportunity to interact with all the budding entrepreneurs and innovators of the country. I'll just take this opportunity to express my entire journey as an entrepreneur, initially as an innovator that turned into from a medical practitioner to a innovator, then to a medical technologist, then to an entrepreneur. This entire journey, I've learned all those things which are needed for this in the more difficult way. and I would be happy to share my experiences so that the young next generation of budding entrepreneurs can learn from those mistakes and those things and make their journey easier. So let's start with there's going to be a presentation. I would appreciate if there are some questions. You can share your questions in the chat box or on the in the descriptions, where you can be answered later after the presentation. So let's start the presentation. So the topic today is product, its design and development process, and attaining a market fit. There are so many things named in this topic itself. One thing is product, then its design, then development, and its process of development. Then along with that, attaining a market fit. All these terms are very important for any innovation and entrepreneurship process to happen. So let's start from the beginning. What is entrepreneurship? Why is this entire world going crazy about entrepreneurs? Now they are being equally celebrated, not yeah, they are now being celebrated across the world like heroes who are creating financial opportunities for the country, the job opportunities, and a lot of products, or create value to the country where these entrepreneurships happen. So that's why the world has identified that instead of a job seeker, it's more important to become a job creator. On that basis, let's talk about entrepreneurship. The entrepreneurship word originates from the French word entreprendre, which means to undertake anything, any business or any endeavor that is taken up is called as entrepreneurship. And an entrepreneur is a person who organizes, manages, and assumes the risk of business. Business is not a easy thing. It's just not like what you see that today all the successful faces you see, they are not overnight successes. They are the results of decades and decades of very, very, very hard work. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. Let me be very clear. And nowadays, there is a new term added, that is technology added into entrepreneurship, that leads into technopreneurship. Because the traditional businesses have been there for centuries, buying from one person and selling to the other one, and in return taking some brokerage or commission in between. So that is a very primitive business that does not create value for either of one, or neither the manufacturer nor the trader nor the buyer. So when technology is added into that, that creates a lot of value, and that value is what helps in making a valuable business. Just like Apple Incorporation, that has created a lot of value to the country, to the company, and to the people using the products. That is because they have loaded their products with technology. And the founder of the company, Steve Jobs, was no doubt a technopreneur. When the word entrepreneur comes to your mind, so these are the faces that come up, from Thomas Alva Edison to Steve Jobs to Zuckerberg to Elon Musk to Bill Gates to our own Dhirubhai Ambani to Mr. Vijay Shekhar Sharma. Then we have Prince Sergey. All these faces are very familiar nowadays because of social media, and entrepreneurs have also started becoming role models for many youngsters. These people have created value. That is why they are valuable in this world. Just like a celebrated celebrity, they are celebrated. Mark Zuckerberg has created an altogether new world for people. Steve Jobs, everyone knows the products that he has delivered are really, really different to a level of great quality and functionalities. Elon Musk is breaking all the laws of what do you call it as businesses and everything. He's going to the next level. He is already in a world that is in 2050, 2060. He's trying to live in that world and trying to create that world for us. For us in India, we have Vijay Shekhar Sharma, who created Paytm, one of the most valuable companies in India. They have revolutionized the world of digital payments even before India planned to go digital. Dhirubhai Ambani, no doubt, his legacy continues with his sons, and they are creating value for the country. Imagine if we had 10, 20 Dhirubhai Ambani's, 10, 20 Vijay Shekhar Sharma's and Sachin Bansals, wouldn't our country be very close to a $5 trillion economy or a $3 trillion, which we are now at, from 3 to 5? Wouldn't it be a wouldn't that be a case? Apple is a $1 trillion company in itself in value. So imagine the value if we had for a company, if we had 5 or 6 Apple companies in India, wouldn't our value in the country improve? Wouldn't thousands and thousands of youth in India get better job opportunities? So that is what is the importance of innovation and entrepreneurship. And all those young entrepreneurs you see here have created value to the country in billions and billions of dollars for every country they are from. So that is what is the role entrepreneurs can play. Now, what is entrepreneurship? This is how I explain entrepreneurship. It's not a joyride. It's totally what I should better give an example of a dreadful roller coaster ride. A moment you are at the highest point, and the other you are in the abysmal depths of frustrations, failures, and pain. So all these things happen when you are having getting through this entrepreneurship journey, but the outcomes and the results are worth that. So embark on this journey. It's a lifelong adrenaline thrust, and which keeps on giving you all that kick that someone who is adrenaline junkie needs. So this is a great way of doing it. You have no day which is having no event that is gonna give you highs or lows. So now let's come to the basics. What is this? What do you see here? It's an iPhone, the latest version, 12 Pro. What do you see here? A Google logo, Google, and other products that Google has. What's this? This is Pride of India, the BrahMos missile. What is this? It's Amul butter. What's this? Bisleri packaged drinking water. Here I'm giving examples, not to name any product specifically, but just giving examples. So what is common in all these things? They are products. They are the products of various companies that make them. Bisleri is being made by a company. BrahMos is made by a company. Amul butter is made by a company. And similarly, the iPhone and the other products that you see around. All these are manufactured by companies, and companies, when they manufacture a product, they create value, and that is what they sell. People buy products. They don't buy ideas. I say, I have an idea. We can travel from Earth to Moon without any means of transportation. Would you like to buy this idea? I'm selling the ticket for it. No one would buy it. But if I create any mechanism or a machine or a system, people would buy that tickets for that. So that is what a product is. Yeah, here, this is Bugatti Chiron, one of the fastest manufactured product. So if we want to summarize, it's an article or a substance that is manufactured or refined for sale. That is what is a product. It's either a person or a thing. It may be tangible that could be touched, or it's intangible that can never be touched. You might have seen that page where I showed some products like Google Chrome, then Gmail. All these things are products from Google. You can't touch them, but they are products. You buy subscriptions of Google Chrome. You buy subscriptions of, not the Chrome, but for the other services that they offer. Services are also products. Banks and insurance companies sell products which are intangible. So even institutions make products. I'm a product of XYZ Institute. People boast about their alma mater. That is because they are the product of that institute. So how do we define that precisely? It has been done with intentional efforts to improve. When you enter a college, you were raw student just out of school. Now you have been made into an employable expert human resource that is capable of doing miracles. So that is why you are a product of an institute. The better the institute, the better products are going to be. So that's how products and institutes work. Now, this is a prototype of a product that our company makes. This we call it as Centiglo. Would you buy this? I'm sure no one would pay for this. But on the other hand, from that prototype stage to this final product, would someone pay for this? Absolutely. We are having customers who have paid for this. So that is the difference from a concept, that is, we call it as a prototype, to a final product. And we are going to go through that journey from that proof of concept or a prototype to the product. And that is what makes, that is what the basis of the entire entrepreneurship journey is all about. There are various aspects which help you, can guide you. This talk that we are discussing can help you understand better the process of getting into a product development and whether to get a market ready, market fit product. That is very important. How do we do that? So let's go ahead. What's peculiar of a product? It's tangible or intangible. We have discussed. Serious intentional efforts are put into that. The skills are honed. You are taught in the college. You make efforts on designing product. A thoughtful process goes into product designing. Outcomes are sustained. Continuous events and iterations will keep on improving. Improvement is a process, but at least of that level, you'll always get as a product. It's basically many a times face of the company. Many times, like this is like some products have become the face of the company. iPhone is the face of Apple Incorporation. So that's why products at times become Nestle. People don't know much about Nestle, but many more people know about Maggie. So that is how a product becomes the face of the company. Ferrari cars are face of the company. Similarly, that's what happens in a product. Now, when a product is talked about, the next thing that comes to mind is design. You have to design the product and decide how it's going to look. You can see a mouse here. How this is going to look, how this is going to feel in the hands. It's going to be a wired one, a wireless one. All these things come into design. This is to decide upon the look and functioning of a product, building, garment, or any other object by many detailed drawings of it. The first basic thing of doing it is first conceptualize an idea. I want to make a mouse or I want to make a phone. Say this is a phone that I want to make. I'll have to look into the opportunities that I have, look into my restrictions and my shortcomings. That's how we design the product. Then what? A plan or drawing produced to show. See, I have a concept. If I have to convince, say for example, I'm talking to some of you that, okay, I have a concept of a product that could help you make calls, can have a large screen to display and help you browse anything. Like if you remember when iPhone was being launched by Steve Jobs, he just gave example. We have a great phone. We have a great browser. We have a great music player as an iPod. What if we combined everything in one and made a product with a large screen, an iPod with a large screen, a browser with a faster internet, a calling system, a calling device that could make calls in one, and that is iPhone. That's how iPhone was launched, when the first iPhone was launched. So this is how you have to communicate to people. So this was a vision, that was a picture drawn in the imagination of the people. But every person has a different imagination. So what I want to say has to come down on papers. For that, you need to have drawing. So drawing is the first way of communicating anything to anyone. So for design to happen, the first thing happens to be drawing. The first thing, if I want to make a mouse, these are the sketches. Probably I may not be so good in drawing, but yeah, I can still communicate. Yeah, something should be as big as my palm so that it can fit easily in the palm. Similarly, for a phone, it should be in my hands, but large enough so that it could still help me seeing the font on that. So that's how you make drawings. With practice, your drawing improves, and so does your illustration. So these illustrations help to know how the product looks like. Then aspects of design. So once you have a design in that, so there are certain things like form. What is the form of the device going to be like? This is a phone. It's a bar phone. This is a mouse. It gets into the hand. Sorry, it gets in your palms. Then comes function. Form basically is for the body type, the architecture. If we talk about any intangible product, like say for example, a home loan. So a home loan, the form would be, it would be catering to the need of the homes, people who are interested in buying homes. In that, the property that is being purchased would be mortgage. So that is what is your form factor. So that is how your product's design looks like, as form looks like. Then comes function. The phone that I'm making should be capable of having a touch input, an audio output, as well as a means of communication so that I can communicate better with the other person I'm talking to. So that is what is function, and keep on adding functions, that it has a camera, it has multiple camera, it has a Bluetooth to communicate with other devices, it has an internet internet browser, it has a hardware that connects to the internet, it has a SIM connectivity, it has blah, 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 so many things. So that are functions. The more functions you add, the more complex the product becomes, but yet it becomes a differentiating feature as well. Then the most important aspect of the design is human. Your form and function is useless without the human. Human is the end user. If this phone weighs 500, if this phone weighs 50 kilograms, would someone be buying it for a day-to-day commuting use? Can someone hold it in the hand? No. If the phone had a size of an A4 paper or like a tablet, 10-inch tablet, would that be capable of making calls on that conveniently without a Bluetooth or a wired connection? No. So the form totally depends upon the end user, that is the human. And function is, does the phone require to have a function which is not required for humans, or all the functions that are put in the device are to be used by humans? So that is what decides your aspects of design. Now, when you see interactions between these, when form and function interact, when function and human interact, and when form and human interact, what happens then? So when form and function interact, that is called as industrial design. So industrial design means when form and function, when I'm product designing, so if the product, how the functions could be added in this form, this limitation would be decided by the industrial design experts. Then when form and human interact, that how this would be placed in the hands of a person. What if a child uses it? What if a differently abled person uses it? So these are all interactions of form and human, and that is called as communication design. When you try to communicate, that is the human communicates with the form, that is what is communication design. And now the most important thing, when functions and human interact, that is what is when magic happens, and that is what is design thinking. So when you start designing products according to the functionality and the usage of the person, that is when you put in the concepts of design thinking. And this design thinking is nowadays a super specialized branch where you can learn many things and implement those things based on the principles, where making those human and function interactions more, what you call it as ergonomic, more effective, and more what you call it as ease of using. Say, for example, I just had a problem when I'm accustomed of using another browser, or for example, another video conferencing system. When suddenly I'm being given a new system to work with. So I get a bit uncomfortable using the features. All the features are same, but the system and their positioning and all those things are different, because one product and the other product design thinking varies. That's why the concepts of design thinking are very important for any product being designed. Now, what is the importance of design? First, utility. Anything that is being designed has to be utilitarian. It has to be of use. No one would buy something that's of no use to anyone. Would someone buy this phone to keep it as a paperweight? Maybe. If it's used for a paperweight and if it just costs 100 rupees or at 50 rupees, I would buy it for a paperweight. But it should have its purpose solved. So the most important aspect for design is in utility, because this is where design thinking is happening. Why? Because the functions are interacting with the humans. Then peculiarity. Everyone wants to be look different, but how do we do that? That's why people start create try to look different. So that's why because being different or a face in the crowd gives you value in that crowd. So that's why people try better to work hard and make a difference and make a mark in the society. That's what the entire what you call it as the motivation for any different thing is. Like, for example, celebrities like sports stars, they work very hard to perform well in sports. Movie stars, they perform well in their roles in theaters or movies to create an impact. Entrepreneurs, they want to create more and more value to their company and to their customers. Similarly, everyone wants to look peculiar and use peculiar things. And in designing products, it's very important to have a peculiarity, because that is going to make a differentiator in the market. We'll see with examples. Distinguishing features. The features should be distinguishing. Like an Apple phone and an Android phone, both are phones, both do almost same functions, but Apple has its own differentiating features, which Androids do not. So that is what is a differentiating feature. Ergonomics. Ergonomics is when form, function, and human interact, and for the ease and better functionality, this is ergonomics which makes the difference. Then safety. If this phone may anytime blast, would it be safe to use? Like it happened with one model of a specific company, which was totally debarred from flying. Anyone carrying that phone was not allowed on aircrafts because it had risks of fire and going and blasting, the batteries going on fire, because that had a faulty design. So that is where the safety was probably compromised. So that is what is you have to keep in mind. Then unique selling proposition. Every item in the market has to look different. The companies spend billions and billions of dollars to look different. Every car that is designed is different. Every automobile that is designed looks different. Every product, from a hair oil bottle to a toothpaste tube, everything tries to look different in the market. Even people try to look different in the market. The hair coloring, the flamboyant clothing, the odd clothing, all these things are measures to just look different. So similarly, products also have to have a unique selling proposition and being different. Then part of marketing strategy. Like every company has its own marketing strategy, and going with the strategy is what the product should do. Like we'll discuss the example. Let me stop myself here. Align with the company motto. These two things are pretty important, because companies have, and just like a person have aura, have personality, and have behaviors. So any joint venture or any partnership or any product that does not go with a company motto, that is what can make and break the image of the company. Just like, say, for example, I'm sitting here in front of you. Instead of with me, if I had a gangster or a criminal with me, so would I be having the same respect, um, uh, uh, or my reputation would be the same if I'm sitting with a great scientist or a great a doctor in the community? So that is what is the company motto should align with. The product should align with the company motto, and that is when you design them that way. Let's talk on each product. Utility. So these are two machines to come to travel. One is looks like a single-seater, single-wheel motorbike. It's not a bike; it's a motorcycle. I don't know how that fellow is managing the balance. And the other one is also for the same one, but everything within a large wheel. They serve their purpose, no doubt. They are serving the purpose. But do they actually serve the purpose? No, because the means and the design is such that the products do not look like what they are. They are not what you call it as sufficiently doing their purpose of. This is no doubt a great way to look different or stand out of the crowd. I would love to own this bike, this motorcycle, if I'm given an opportunity just to look different. People may call me stupid, people may call me anything, but I would look different from the crowd. But it does not solve the purpose properly. So the design should be such that the product justifies its use. Peculiarity. What you see here is a stapler pin remover. This is a simple stationary device costing 40-50 rupees, where you just, when you have a stack of papers and stapled and want to remove the stapler pin, just use it. And on the same thing, this is a very basic design. And some designer made it peculiar. Now, wouldn't everyone want this piece of stationary item to be on their desk? I would. What the designer has done here is use the same thing, but redesign it in such a way that it looks like a crocodile's mouth, a crocodile's head. Now the utility is same, but it has become peculiar. And if they charge 200 rupees for the 50 rupee item, I'm going to pay for that. And not only me, many more people would pay for that. So that is what is design adds to peculiarity and increases sale. The ultimate goal of the market is to increase sales. Now, this is what the difference you can see. Now, when you talk about, say, for example, ergonomy, so what you see here is a keyboard. People with long working hours on keyboard often feel pain in their wrists because the wrists are stressed under a lot of strain because of improper positioning of the buttons and keys on the keyboard. So this is an ergonomic keyboard which splits according to the angle of the wrists, making it less tensed and strained, creating a better working environment and more convenient working. So this is what is great design, where you have split, made it more complex though, but have improved its outcome. So that is what is an ergonomic keyboard. Say, for example, nowadays, if say, for example, I'm a software engineer and need many hours of working together on a keyboard, wouldn't I invest on this? Yes, I would do that. Now, the other aspect is what you see here. It's a balcony with a lot of pots kept on the balcony sill. So what's then? The problem with high-rise buildings is these pots can fall down and can be dangerous to people working or playing or moving around on the ground floor or somewhere in the open space. So this is a design for safety, where a split or a slit has been created in the pot, which fits properly on the windowsill or the balcony sill, and you can still enjoy your small piece of gardening and still keep it safe for the people down below. So that is what is it's design thinking with safety in mind. Then unique selling proposition. This is a red colored bike, probably a 80cc or a 100cc bike from somewhere around the world. I don't know. And the other one. These two are both red colored, have a great utility, serve their purpose and everything. But which one would be a choice of many more people? Most for sure would be this bike on the lower right corner, the sports bike, because it looks great, it's beautiful, performance is flawless, and is a unique selling proposition in the way that the company can boast it's a beautifully designed bike, goes very fast, it's very powerful, and is synonymous to speed. And the upper one, whatever you call it, no one is going to stand, it's not going to stand a chance in front of this sports bike. So that is how a unique selling proposition puts the product on the upper hand or gives the upper hand in the market. People would start saving money for this red super bike instead of that red commuter bike. So that is what is the intention of the market. The markets are driven by purchasers. The more purchasers you create for a product, the more successful the product is. So that is when, how does it happen? Both have the same components. They have engine, they have wheels, they have a seat, they have a tank, they have a handle, everything. But designing and thinking in the way that USP has been put in for design thinking. And that's when this bike comes for, takes the shape. Now aligns with the company motto again. This is I don't know, it's somewhere a converted red car in somewhere, some part of India, because it shows an Indian number plate. This is a red car. And this is the another red car. Which one would align with the company motto? The company motto means, say for example, the upper one says that we make great cars. Does it even look great? I'm not using any any product that is already in the market. It's a converted one. That's why I'm using one. I'm not degrading any design. And the other one, which you see down below, the red Ferrari, that has become synonymous with the name of the company. You don't need to name the company when you name the car. The name of the car is always forgotten. I don't know the name of this model. It's always Ferrari. But the name of when you know the name of the product, that is when the product is not the face of the company. So that is how the product and the company mottos align together. This car automatically shouts that it's made for speed, made for hyper performances. It's not made for the normal roads. It won't help you carry many people in this. It's not a utility car. It's totally a sports car. It's not for the day-to-day commuter. So that is what is it when it aligns with the company motto. Now, when we have all these things in understanding of design thinking, so what are the steps of for engineering a product through this process? How do we go ahead with that? Ideation. The first thing is creating an idea. I have an idea of say for example that we are talking about a phone, that it would make all these things and this would be doing that, and a mouse, these features. So how would I communicate to my team? I would have to draw. Yeah, I don't want a phone that's larger than 6 inches. I don't want a phone that is around 8 to 9 millimeters thick. I don't want a phone that is larger than the size of a palm. So these are the things, and this should be the form. It should be a rectangle with curved curved corners. So this is how the idea and sketches help in making. Then design proposal. After making design sketches, a proposal is made. for anything, that yeah, this is what we have to design, and a proposal. These are ways of doing things formally. Most of the startups do these things, but they are informally done. So this is a process, because when you have a formal process of doing things, things become easier, and rechecking and revisiting things to back and forth becomes easier. That's why I'm trying to make you understand all these steps and processes so that you can understand them well. Then so that is what is design proposal. It's a document where all the form factors, all the aspects, form, design, human interface, design thinking features, industrial design and communication design, all parameters are put in. Budget has to be put in, and all those things have to be put in place. Then feasibility analysis. Then the technical team, design team, and the management sits together and do the brainstorming. Where is it even feasible? Can we even do that? So that is what is the feasibility analysis. Then a prototype is made. Okay, this is all feasible that we can do. These are the things that we finalize. So let's make a prototype. So assembling things in the first form factor that works, that is a prototype. Then it is shown to many people to get a candid feedback, because many people's views depend upon that, and because the end user's perspective or any person who's connected or not connected with that gives a good feedback. And once the feedback is received, those iterations and changes are made into that, and that helps in making a final product. So this is the entire journey of a product designing: ideation, design proposal, formally made, feasibility analysis done with debates on that, prototype made, feedbacks taken, and then finalized products. When you talk about ideation, how do you make that? Sketches. You can see a watch here. So this is how a watch I'm designing. It would have a brown leather strap with a glass face on the dial, and it would have this sort of looking hands in the watch, and this would be the look and feel of the watch. So this is what the design would be doing. Similarly, for a trimmer, a beard trimmer, or for a bottle with a cap with a loop to carry it easily. So these are all sketches, and they are the first iterations, because they are the most economical way of either I should call it the prototyping, that it doesn't cost much, because you're not wasting anything. It doesn't take much time, and you get almost instant results. Then after that, a design proposal is made, our project designing is done. Then portfolio, whether that product falls within the portfolio. Say for example, my company makes medical devices. Suddenly there is an opportunity. I see that the world over, everyone is making electric vehicles. So can we make electric vehicles? Does it fall in our portfolio? No. So the management would decide no, though it's a great opportunity in the market, but we should concentrate and focus on our product range. So why not? Okay, medical device, let's okay. So MRI machines are very costly, and we can get good revenues on that. So should we start making MRI machines? No, the management would say, we don't have the money, we don't have the bandwidth, we don't have the technical skills to make an MRI machine. So this is how the debates are done on project design proposals. Then project management. If you go to the right side, project management. So if we are making a medical device, or say for example that we are taking an example of a phone. So do we have the technical expertise? Yeah. We have 4 or 5 people who are technically sound in doing that. Great. Do we have a team that can source the components for us? Great. Yes, we have that. So these are all the project management related issues. Then feasible, whether making a phone in this competitive world feasible? Yes, because it's a huge market, players are many, but the revenues are enormous. So that's a great opportunity. So that makes it desirable. But then actually, do we even stand a chance to stand in front of Samsung or Apple or MI or any other brand? So no, right now, no. But if we put things in place, make better products, better than them, then we can really stand a chance in the market. So that is how the design proposals are evaluated. Then So these are the aspects like meet the requirements, appealing, practicality, feasibility, and approximate budget. Do we have the money basically to do all these things? So that is how the design proposals are discussed. Feasibility analysis is basically, does it suit us? Do we have the demand? Do we have the capacity? Do we have the money? Do we have the expertise? Do we even have stand a chance against the competition? So these are all the features that are interrelated, and that's when are discussed, and the outcome is finalized. If it is going forward in the direction of design product development, then comes prototyping. So prototyping can start from clay modeling to paper modeling to wood modeling, and nowadays we have even better sketches could also do a prototyping, clay modeling, cardboard, sunboard, and MDF could help in ready materials. You can buy electronic boards, assemble them, and make them work. Like Arduino and Raspberry Pi form a great prototyping platforms where you just plug in things and your sensors, and you can test your concept. So that is what is readily available. Then rapid prototyping is the new branch that has come up. Rapid prototyping, just you can see here is a sketch of a dinosaur skull, a T-Rex skull. This is the CAD model. CAD, again, computer aided design is another way of prototyping where you can see things in 3D and you can just see and look in better way how it could look. And even better than what a CAD design could do is feel. You can't feel that design. So what rapid prototyping can do is through a 3D printer can help make a 3D printed design or a complete prototype of the CAD design that you have designed. This is a skull of a T-Rex made out of plastic uh, design printed by a 3D printer. 3D printer is a misnomer term, but yeah, it's for general purpose. It is called as a 3D printer. It's not doing printing, but it is. There are multiple technologies to do that. One is where the plastic filaments are molten and fused, and layer deposition is done. Then somewhere we have laser or lights doing the curing of the resins and making them, then heat sintering, and the 3D printing with the metals is also possible by lasers melting metal and making 3D items out of that. So now comes feedback. What importance feedback has is whatever I have made, say for example, this is the dinosaur skull. So we need to show it to the people. Would you buy it? People, some would say yes, some would say no. We won't buy this, we would buy this. If this would had had this, it's a moving part, we would buy it. Similarly, if we talk about a phone, would you buy it? Okay, how is it better than your iPhone, or how is it better than your Android phones? You have to give them, tell them, then they'll use it and then give you feedbacks. Then they are actually the basic test grounds. This helps you improve the product and make it more useful. Sometimes it's also discouraging because when you get a negative feedback, this could be discouraging as well. But your stronger convictions can, and your capability to improve can help you get over those negative comments. But always negative comments are not bad. They are basically to help you to make understand the product better. Now comes, after all the designing thing and everything you have done, now there is a concept called as market fit. What is market fit? Market fit is a concept when your product that you're working on is whether needed in the market or not. Even does the market even need it or not? So that is what is market fit is called all about. So how do you address the market fit, or whether it is going to fit or not? For that, we have to understand the market needs. Every market has a need. Today, do we have a need for space travel? No. But there are people who are very rich and can afford space travel. For them, there's a market. So maybe for one sector of, or one segment of population that you had talked to, the product may not have be a market fit, but for the others, it is. For most of the what you call it as. So that is what is basically market fit. For most of the people, say for example, a good telecommunication device with a decent camera and a decent capabilities, I think like a phone that was 4 or 5 years ago, if that had stayed there, would have been good enough. But since the competition and the sense of creating unique products have now brought phones which are even more powerful than many of the computers. So that is why searching for the market fit, people have gone beyond the boundaries. So here, the sense of being a differentiator has created a new niche product in the market, which are high end and function in a different way. For this, customer feedback is very important, and not with a single or a couple of friends who may give a first candid feedback, but many people. The larger database you have of feedbacks, the better planning you can make for a market fit, because people have different points of views and everyone thinks according to their point of view and their comforts, and your product is basically a product of the future, so they may not understand it. So you have to be very critical about accepting the feedback. Don't get totally demotivated, don't get totally enthralled that this is what you wanted to listen or wanted to hear. So don't be so much on the ends of the emotional stage. Be on the middle part where you take criticism and appreciation positively with the strong base. Then continuous innovation keeps on improving the product. From what you see in a phone's journey in last 5 years or 6 years, the journey of that smartphone has been tremendous. Tremendous. You can't even imagine. Now they are equally competing with the computers in performance and at times exceed in that. Timing of the product must be right. What does this mean? That some products are launched way ahead of their times. People might not have needed it, and that's when things change and those products fail in the market. Because what is a success in a market? A great product is not a sure shot success guarantee. A product that is a great market fit solves problem for many, and cost is immaterial, looks are immaterial. But these two important things, a market fit and are solving people's problem, that ensures the success of the product. Utility. Do these bikes stand a chance of getting a market fit? No, they are very dangerous. So they are not going to get into the market. Differentiators can buy that, but not everyone. Cost, the ease of complexity and ease of doing. Windows Vista is an example where Windows failed miserably in designing an operating system that was too complex and never fitted the Windows ethos and motto. So that's why Windows Vista was a failure. Nokia. Nokia was a great company when it was in feature phones and camera phones as well. But as smartphones started taking place, Nokia stopped or were still in their inertia of their own smartphones. Not the smartphones, their feature phones. And they did not understand the wave and failed to innovate accordingly. And though did innovations, but they were late. And hence, once the world's largest telecom company was sold out. So that is an importance of having continuous innovation as a process to keep yourself ahead in the market race. Timing. What is this? Do you know? This is Google Glass. One of the most talked about product a few years ago. This is an entire computer with which many of the features of a computer could be done, but it was way ahead of its time. So people did not buy it. People do buy things, though if they are futuristic as well, but if it is wrongly timed, things fail. Evil product from Google have failed, just like Google Glass. aspirations. This is a marvelous car. You drive it and you love it, actually. But this nano car was never for 1 lakh rupees. It was never sold for 1 lakh rupees except for the initial few thousand cars. It costed as much as then, even higher than the competitor higher version cars like a Maruti Alto. The highest top end version of a Nano Twist automatic drive was somewhere around 4 lakh rupees. So buying 4 lakh rupees car and still getting a lakh takia or a 1 lakh rupee car tag on that does not suit to the people's aspiration. If it would have been promoted only as a cute small car, this would have been a successful product instead of a 1 lakh rupee car. That adding a tag of 1 lakh rupee, no one wants to be called as, "Are, aapke paas 1 lakh rupee wali car hai." No one bought a Nano for 1 lakh rupees, but it did not match to the aspirations. That's why the production of Nano stopped a couple of years back. So these are what determine the market fit. Now I'll take you through a short journey of my entire product journey from an entrepreneur's point of view, from a product development cycle. These were all those examples of a theoretical part that we have seen. Now I'll see how the product that we have been working on works. So this is my company, Cutting Edge Medical Devices Private Limited. We are a medtech startup company democratizing healthcare by offering smart, affordable medical devices, which are also capable of generating high quality medical data for AI-based predictive healthcare services. That's our next offering. So how all this journey started? So there should be a problem to make it a market fit. So in India, if we talk about, we have 317 million people. That is 31.7 crore people who are vulnerable to kidney damage because of diabetes, hypertension, and other conditions. So this is a huge population. So we have a need. So that market fit is there. So if we can address to that problem, we have a market fit. We offer a great solution for that in the form of Syntiglow. It's a smart point of care diagnostic device which can detect small quantities of protein in the urine as an early indicator of kidney damage and help in early diagnosis from a simple urine test, which most of the devices are not able to do at this cost and at this accuracy. So we have a differentiator and a unique selling proposition, being cost effective and fast. Then, so we have a product that's good for market fit, that's good for what you call it as, it has a market fit, it has utility, it has a need, it has a unique selling proposition, it has a strong differentiator, and accuracy is what we strongly boast about. Then how does this, it's great for point of care diagnostics. Point of care diagnostics means you can take the device anywhere. It's a small device, just weighs 600 grams, battery operated, and can be carried anywhere. And all the other competitive products are based on strips, which are not accurate. And we are not a strip based device. We work on the same principle, which is the gold standard principle. So we have done something remarkable, that we have brought that entire big machines technology into a small thing affordably. So that's what it is. So this was my first prototype. It was a cardboard box, and that's how the journey had started. From a cardboard box, then with some wires dangling here and there, I wanted to see whether the concept that I'm working on. So, okay, how did it start? So my sister was pregnant and developed a condition called as pregnancy-induced hypertension, which is one of the biggest causes of maternal mortality and morbidity across the world. So her doctor advised her a regular protein test in the last 3 months of her pregnancy. So the sample of the urine sample had to be weekly collected, sent to the lab, then again go back to the lab, get the report, and then go to the doctor. And then doctor said, yeah, everything is good, continue with the treatment. So this was a pretty cumbersome thing for her. She said, Bhaiya, is there something that we could test at home? So I tried to find out some solutions for her, but could not find out. And that's where I found out a huge gap. And on deliberately studying that gap, I found out that this is not only a problem in India, it's a problem that's globally there. And there is no serious efforts being done to solve that. So that kept haunting me. And this and then many iterations in the thought process, and some iterations done. And that was the first prototype that we developed in 2013, January 2013. And since then, I've been working on the same project. It's a very long project process. Medical devices take a very long time to develop. Then this is not going to be even taken forward. No, I'll have to take this cardboard box and show it to people. People would first thing reaction would be laugh. So we need something better to make. Then I made this with the help of a friend who knew electronics. I'm a doctor, so I have my limited knowledge about electronics. So I took a friend's help and then made my first prototype. And this was made out of cardboard and sunboard boxes. This was pretty good. Did something, but it was not at all at a level of even an early stage prototype. Then kept on improving, used the common source Arduino boards and other generic boards to make on moving. And then this was the version of the product that we had. This was the TRL5, that is technology readiness level, that this product was this prototype was an advanced prototype, but still it was not worth buying or selling. Then we made another change in the device. Utility was increased, a printer was added. But do you see something? Still, it does not look like a medical device. It just looks kept on improving, and this is the final product. It's available in 2 colors. It has a beautiful interactive touch screen that and has buttons as well, so that the utility and the functionality is not compromised. The the technology required is also within the limits. Along with that, the design aspects are it looks great. So this is what the entire process of designing from a cardboard prototype to a final market-ready product takes us to. Thank you very much for your patient listening, and I'm very happy to be, if there is a question.
Thank you, Pankaj, for beautiful session. And you have just said that how was your journey 3 years back from an idea and being a professional wise, you are a doctor on profession, but actually you choose engineering background to pursue your PhD, and you're trying to amalgam the engineering and the medical and coming up with a new innovative solution. And based on that, you have also started your startup 2.5 years back, and now you have reached to a level where you have your market fit product, and you have already launched your product, and you are getting customers, and you are in a process to raise the investment from the venture capital funds. So the market fit, actually, as you rightly explained, that the market fit is the things actually there should be human-centered approach to the innovation, and that innovation is going to solve the certain problems of the people. So that means your innovation, whatever you are going to do or you are going to develop, it should have the it solve the problem of the people. Also, it should be accepted by the people, best bringing the innovation in the designing, in the look, in the delivery, in the form of all the other aspects that generally when we try to use that product as part of our requirement for which it has been developed. So we have a couple of questions for you. So one question
I'll stop sharing so that we can have that. Yeah.
So the question is that what is the importance of the failure analysis? So you can give some light on it.
Failure analysis. Yes, failure analysis. Failures teach you more than what your success can teach you. I have learned all these things my life through failures. This is not my first venture. This is my second venture. I started my first venture when I was even a student at a medical college. And this was a time when no one knew, or not many people knew about innovation entrepreneurship. The governments totally were unaware of all these things. What now the ministry is now taking lead roles in doing this. At that time, things, nothing like innovation cell was there in even probably most of the ministries. So failures analysis is very important. Like my first project was way ahead of its time, required a lot of technological inputs, required a lot of funds. That was a it was a multi-para monitor for telemedicine. So we were trying to use, we were rather even able to transmit ECG in form of an SMS from one place to another in 2007-8 I'm talking about. But to make it into a product, a lot of investments were required and a lot of things were required. So that product could not see the light of the day. Then the problem, then there was, I made failure analysis. That why did I fail at that point? I was the right person at the wrong place at the wrong time. So how do I make myself the right person at the right time at the right place? I was a doctor. When a doctor talked about technology, people were amazed, but were just amazed. They did not buy that, did not trust that. If I talked about my subject in medicine, people would trust. But if I talk about technology, people would not trust. So first, failure analysis. Get that, what you call it as, the passion into profession. My interest was there into technology. So I did not want to pursue my higher studies in medicine. And I looked for opportunities and found out this PhD course in biomedical engineering at AICTE Delhi. This doesn't mean that things don't work that way, but being better prepared makes success more ensured. Then right time. Previously, my product was way ahead of its time. Means when we had no internet. Now today, you are live streaming on your phones as well. And at that time, when we had only SMS as a way of communication between two devices, other than voice, that was not feasible. But that was a challenge that we were trying to address, and we were able to address it to even certain levels. So now this time I had a thought that the technology that I would be working should be within my limits, so that I have a control. I can appoint team members, but I cannot create the entire thought process through a team. You need to have that within you. So that's how I made myself right person at the right time and right place. Obviously, now, fortunately, the time has come. The world is looking towards entrepreneurship. 2016, the altogether the change with the government made happen. There was this startup policy being made for the country. So that is when this was the right time, right thing, and right place. This is what happens when you do a failure analysis.
Yeah, you have rightly said, Pankaj, that failure is inevitable. Definitely, failure will come on the way when you will start something. But from each failure, from each attempt of, you have to learn something, and only to make sure that this learning from each attempt, it may be failure or successful, that you should not repeat, so that you will again fail it. But you can do, definitely you should be invited, or you if you are doing another new kind of mistakes, it should be welcomed. This is what we call celebrating the failure, like we celebrate the success, and this should be part of our culture, which is not yet encouraged, but we have to encourage this, because there is a saying in the software industry, where actually this startup concept came, that we called start early and fail fast. So actually this start early and fail fast concept actually came from the IT industry. Actually, every IT industry, they make sure these principles should be applicable to each and every software they design and they deliver before to the customer or to the client side. So that once you will design the software, it should be go through a repetitive mode of testing, so that whatever the fault, it will show the error at the testing phase, so that once it will get deployed, it will not, after that, if some error will come, then it will actually will create a big problem, because that all the data has to be, again, you to rework on it. So this concept of start early and fail fast is actually concept also applicable for the startup space. So
Yes.
the early you will start your idea to implement, it will actually give you bring lots of confidence through your failures that you will come across, and that failures will actually help you to go for another venture or another innovative, and through that only you will grow and you will learn and you will prosper. And definitely, as Pankaj said, that is the second venture. Similarly, people have more than 15, 20 or 30 attempts, and they get success in their maybe 15th or 20th attempt of their things. So it happens, and there are many serial entrepreneurs. They actually they are considering, or they are telling themselves as a serial entrepreneur, because it's not that they have get successful in all attempts. They are failed, but still they're boasting themselves as a serial entrepreneur, because the kind of wisdom and the wealth and the learnings they have obtained from all these serial failure attempts, actually that is enriching them, right? So this is the what
Yes.
we have to encourage in all the aspects and the areas where we are promoting innovation and entrepreneurship. So I'm going to the next question. That is, how far the market survey is reliable as it is ever changing? So comments, Pankaj.
This is a nice question. This is pretty, what do you call it as? It's a dicey situation. It's a catch-22 situation, whether to take it or leave it. But yes, so that's why I said the larger feedback you can have for market survey. That's why companies spend millions of rupees to just get a market survey. You get forms on Google, you get questions on YouTube, Facebook, and every time, so that survey helps generate data. Because I may be biased. One more or two persons would be biased. When you have 1,000 people giving in feedback, that bias gets dissolved, and you get what is a psyche of a people, of a population. So that is what is you have to keep in mind. But except beyond all these things, the strongest thing is your own passion and your own belief on that product. Because world may say, say that what Henry Ford said, if I would have asked people what they want, they would have never said they want a car. They would have always said they wanted a fast bullock cart. So if you're doing something that is beyond something new or a breakthrough, then you should rely on your own gut feelings. But when you're doing something as an incremental innovation or a product that is better, if I'm using a 3G phone, so a better, faster internet would be a better option. So a better thing would be a 4G. So that is how the incremental innovations are done. And for breakthroughs or so for something really new, you have to rely on your own gut feelings. So that's very much subjective thinking that what data size or market survey size is reliable.
Yes. So let me add few things to the Pankaj comment. That's the market and the product or the innovation. So both are completely integrated each other. You cannot separate both the things, and you can't see from the as a only from one angle. Because the market, you are doing this innovation is for whom? You are doing this innovation is for the market, and market is who? Market is the customer actually who is good, who is part of the market. So you have to see the market, you have to take the market into confidence in the day one of your idea conception or idea at the inception stage itself. That's why there are three types of fit we have in our approach, in our theory. One is the fit at the problem and the solution fit. That means when you have when you have identified the problem, during that time when you are going to devise the solution, that solution has to be seen from the customer point of view. That solution is actually need that solution or not, or is going to accept that solution or not. So there is a good fit or good match has to be obtained for the problem and for the solution that you are devising from the customer point of view. Another level of fit is called product and market, what Pankaj has explained, that once you have innovations to a product or a service, then you have to see that is that market is going to purchase it, is market is going to accept it in that form that you have designed, or it need the refinement and also kind of fabrication and the look and all the aesthetic point of view as per the customer's requirement. That's what we call product and the market fit. And the last fit is called business model fit. That means the way you want to take your product to the customer in a very effective way with less cost or a kind of a efficient way of taking your products or the innovations to the customer level, and again bring back the feedbacks and again improvising the product further. So this is the called business model. So if you will not able to achieve all these three fit, like problem solution fit, product market fit, and the business model fit, then there is a chance that you will get fail in your venture journey. Some point somewhere you will proceed, but somewhere you will stop, or there will be some limitation of that. So this is the part actually we are covering since last five session, and today also Pankaj mentioned about the product and market fit. And in coming session, we are going to learn about the business model fit, and we will understand this market and the role of research and the tools, how it will actually help us to take a better decision, and we will achieve all this kind of fit. So market survey is very, very important at the idea stage, at the prototype stage, at the innovation stage, at the demonstration stage, at the market entry stage, at the market growth stage. So market is changing, and accordingly also through market survey we have to changes in our innovation. Similarly, what is happening, say before the COVID lockdown came to our 2 years back, the most of the business models were physically products, and most of the delivery of these solutions is through the physical mode, that we have to go to the shop and we have to purchase. But now more than 80% of the production, the innovations, it is been delivered through the online mode. So the mode of conducting business has been changed. Even now we are learning through the online platform rather than the attending in the classrooms. So see, market changes, and response to that, we have to also change our product innovation and the delivery and everything. So I will take the last question, which is very, very important. So it is very, very relevant to Pankaj, your startup also. So the question is that if in your team, you belongs to the one stream and one discipline like medical industry or the medical profession, and you have no engineering background, and you don't know how to do the prototyping, how to use the electronic and the mechanical engineering technologies, but how you design a product, need skill set and the requirement and expertise on other disciplines. So this is the what that they are asking on the team building, having the complementary and the supplementary skill set. This is the question actually we are getting from our audience. Please answer to this question.
Yes. So it's actually, this is a very pertinent question, and because a single person cannot make a difference in an entrepreneurship world. Other places he or she can, but here you need a team. Business is a teamwork. It's not a single person's work. Or rather, today every event that is being organized or every work that is being done is now no more a single person's work. It's mostly a teamwork. So you have to have a good team. And how to make that good team? First thing is, you can't, I'm a very rare thing. I had the opportunity of being a doctor and understanding technology and then getting that passion into a profession thing. And it's not always required to spend 15, 20 years of your life doing all these things. You can bypass the things. I said I had to do things the old difficult way. The best thing is try to find out like-minded people, because a like-minded person can supplement your weaknesses. And if you have a certain, rather be a better complement your skills. Always try to find out people who are complementary to your skills. I'm a doctor. I did not know much of electronics. I knew something, but not much of that. So being at the right place, I was in IIT Delhi. That doesn't mean you have to be always in these premier institutes. Anywhere in this place, you get people who are smart, who are witty, who are intelligent and can share the same thought. I got people from my hostel who helped me make that prototype. I was very clear, this has to be my company. So anyone, any Tom, Dick and Harry cannot come and sit with me as my co-founder. That had to be someone who's adding value to that. So It's always just like, don't get into emotions and give away your company on, okay, आज मुझे ये अच्छा लग रहा है या लग रही है, मुझे इसमें साथ काम करने में अच्छा लग रहा है, okay, 30% कंपनी आपकी, फिर एक और को ले आए, 30% और चली गई, and at the end you lose everything. So be very wise in choosing your partners. Always choose a partner. You cannot do it everything on your own. This is just like marriage. That partner is going to live with you for your life, for your company's life. We don't have the liberty of the well-known celebrity nowadays on social media who just left his wife after some years of marriage. So startup founders don't have that liberty. It's just like more of a Hindu wedding where we are locked for 7 generations, 7 births. So that is what is what your goal should be, because anyone who has such a broken up history, like a founder, we had four co-founding members and none of them are with us today. All of them have left. And on the other thing, my founding team is still intact and my first employee is still with me. So what makes more impact? The second statement. So that's why try to find out people who complement your skills. One. Second, who are equally contributing towards your goal. Third, who share their goal. This is your baby. This is your brainchild. Everyone cannot be equally careful about your baby just like you, but should have care for that child. That is what is needed. So that is how you do. And for that, you need a lot of network. Today, there's a saying, your network is your net worth. The more people you know, the more valuable you become. So today, I got this opportunity through AICTE and Deepan sir. Today, I'm talking to thousands of people on this platform. And after this also, I'm going to stay on this platform for years to come. So that is how it's creating my network. And that increases my net worth. So the more active you are, more good you are at making relationships and continuing relationships, that adds to your value and helps your startup grow, because one link can link it to the other. This entire life is just like that puzzle of connecting the dots. Connect with one, you connect to the other, and connect to the other, you get connected to the third person, and suddenly after so many connecting so many dots, you see yourself at the next level. Few years back, I used to be a mentee. I used to take mentorship from experts. And today, by God's grace, by experience and opportunities given by AICTE and such platforms, I'm a mentor. So that is why when you connect the dots, you get to learn and you are able to deliver things. So the only way is to have your mind open, welcome everyone, but be very particular about choosing the right partner. You can't have a make and break relationship in a startup. You have to be very particular. That person should be contributing, and that's how you make your partners in the team. So,
Pankaj, my input in this team formation has some specific understanding.
yeah,
That consider if being a person, being an individual, you have developed a technology, maybe as a alone or in a team. That team for the technology development is something different than the team developed for the business is something different.
absolutely.
Maybe if you have this characteristic, then you will fit for both. But generally, the team at the school level or the college level or the institute level, those are engaged for the development of any innovation. They have a different mindset, they have different aspiration, they have a different ambition, right? So my suggestion will be, it's my understanding, but it's up to the person that you can devise your own understanding, that when your team is for the technology product innovation or something like a technology development stage, then once you reach to a certain level of your technology, that means you have registered for the patent or you have applied for the patent, then have the ownership. And after that, you should have a very good contract and kind of a time agreement that, okay, this is the product we developed and we have our ownership. And if this product you will see the commercial stage, then we will get the royalty of that, right? Consider that if I am one of these team members and remaining members are not interested in go for taking it in the venture form, So they can opt their path and then they can choose the other path. And I will take this product as one of the owner, as of one of the ownership of the intellectual property, and I will take a startup and I will take this product as one of the licensed products of my startup. And as I will produce, as I will revenue, then I will pass certain of it to the royalty. But the startup team should be a different concept, and they should have the different passion, the dedication, because that startup team need beyond the technology skill. They need the management skill, they need the networking skill, they need the collaboration, they need the like a business aspiration. So their different mindset is required. Maybe few of the core member of the technology development team, they will happy to be the part of the startup, but it is not always correct that all the members, those are part of the technology development team, they will make into the startup team. It's never happened.
Very correct.
Hardly one or two members
Very
only
correct.
they make. So just to see in this angle, just to give a pause to your technology development journey and see that who are the members and what kind of formal way you can have a good relation. So you should not break the relation, because in future maybe this will actually need for developing another innovation, right? So don't leave the connection. So, and choose the person, as Pankaj said, who is the right person, as a like-minded, those want to take in a commercial way of through the venture. And again, you start building your startup team with like-minded persons, so that, and having different roles and responsibilities, skill set to drive this venture firm. And the one of the best way, so for the technology development, your college is fine, your R&D lab is fine, but for the startup, you should look for a good incubation unit where you will get this kind of like-minded peoples. Also, you will get lots of access to the so many things, but you should choose the incubation unit very, very carefully. Just for the sake of name, don't go and get the incubation support. You should know that what kind of services, what kind of facilities, what kind of resources they will able to bring to you, and if you will go and take incubation support. And also you have to be very, very careful about what percentage of equity you are going to share among the team members and with the investor and also with the incubation unit. All the things you have to keep in mind while you are getting into from a technology development to the startup or a venture development stage. So this is what is my understanding. So
I'll just add one thing. I'll just add one thing. That's a very correct point that you said. You have encompassed everything. My statement was on a startup's perspective. So very correctly said, when you have a institutional technology coming into as a market product, so then the most appropriate person from the entire team that is interested in that project should be given the charge to lead, because very correctly said, a professor or a technology developing person may not have that interest of taking things in that way. So if someone who is like-minded wants to share this dream and has all the passion and all the grit to take that, let him or her lead that as a CEO. Because in a structured way, the CEO has to take all those decisions, has to take all the lead, and has to face all the brunt. So just developing technology is just a small part of a product life cycle. Developing it from a technology to a product, to a viable product, to a market fit product, to a regulatory clearances and all those things done, and then getting it to the customers. That's a very big aspect. So someone has to be there as an entire anchor. So that person should be given that opportunity, very correctly said. And this is where you get, so the incubators could be a very good place to get like-minded people work upon that. And so that's very correctly said, sir.
So I think now it is we're approaching to the end of the session, and I think we have tried our best to clarify the queries of our participants. And over to Udyan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That was a wonderful session on attaining market product fit. So I hope many of our participants have gained some knowledge on prototype designing process and will implement in their skills. So thank you, Pankaj sir and Deepan sir, for sharing your valuable time with us and with our participants and encouraging them with your session. Also, I would like to inform our participants that our next session is on 10th of July. For the advanced level, it is at 12 noon, and for the basic level is at 3 p.m. So after this end of this video, you can submit your assessment. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Innovation Ambassador training session. So today's session is for both foundation level and advanced level on the title name Legal Structures and Ethical Steps in Establishing Startups. So based on the title, our expert speaker is Mr. Abid Singhal, who is the co-founder and CEO of Startup Buddy. He is a qualified chartered accountant with more than 17 years of work experience across varied industries. He has an extensive experience in funds administration, accounting, investor reporting, strategic planning, and budgeting. He is very active as a seed stage investor in Indian startup ecosystem. Till now, he has invested in good number of startups like Inner Chef, Akiva Life, Infedo, Advantage Club, Oro Wealth, Original for Sure, F5 Refreshment, and many other startups. With a strong analytical and business foundation, he has collaborated work with different business heads across countries and general management responsibility, which geared him well as a future business leader and a great team player. His great strengths are his ability to develop a vision, a clear strategy, and align people towards it. He is an expert in motivating people and leading a team of young professionals, expert in understanding and delivering business concepts in flashy and never forgettable manner. So now I would like to invite him to take the session forward. Over to you, sir.
Thank you again. Thank you very much for giving me happy to share my experience with the young people and experienced people about the legal structure. So the topic which we have decided for the today is the legal structures and the ethical steps in required in establishing the startups. So what we will do today, we will understand that in case someone is setting up a startup, what are the initial few steps which are required to be taken care by the startup, and in case how he should have think about the legal entity, what are the steps he should do, what are after even after setting the entity, what are the do's and don'ts, and how to identify that which kind of setup should be he set up. So in next 1 hour we will discuss about it, and then we will open the form and we will take the questions, whatever doubts are there. So I will try to reply that. So let's start with the first slide of my presentation, which is how to start. In case you are a startup,